Two identical rectangular prisms each have a height of 90 centimeters. The base of each prism is a square, and the surface area of each prism is k centimeters squared. If the prisms are glued together along a square base, the resulting prism has a surface area of 92/47k square centimeters. What is the side length in centimeters of each square base? So let's start with the first part of the problem. We know that one of these rectangular prisms each has a height of 90 centimeters, and we know that the total surface area, let's call it surface area 1, is going to be k centimeters squared. Now, what we can do is we can just call one of these side lengths x, and we know that both of these side lengths are x because we know that the bottom is a square, so the two sides have to be the same length. So now if we rewrite the surface area, we can say it equals k, but we can also say that it equals 2 times x squared plus 4 times 90x. And the reason that this works is we're basically saying that for the bottom and the top, we know that the area is going to be x squared. And so there's two of them, so that's this part. And then we know that each of these rectangular sides is going to be 90x, and we know that there are 4 of those sides. So now we basically have another way to write k. Now it says that if we imagine gluing two of these together along a square base, so that means along one of these sides, the resulting surface area is 92/47k. So that would look something like this, and we're just imagining that along this dotted line is where we basically connected two of these rectangular prisms on the area that I just shaded. So what do we know about this rectangular prism? Well, we know that each of these lengths is going to be 90, because since we basically flipped this one on its side, this is the length of the bottom here, and we know that there's two of them because we glued two of them together. However, this length and this length are still x because we didn't add any area on the square side since that's the side that we glued together. Now for the surface area of this shape, let's call it surface area 2, we know that it equals 92/47k because they told us that. We can also rewrite this in a similar way that we did for this one. So for this one, we're going to have 2 times x squared. That's still going to be the same because we're still going to have a square side here, and if we imagine another square side over here, we're just going to have 2 of those. However, for the rectangular sides, it's going to be 4 times 180x because we've essentially doubled the length of this side. So once again, this part of the equation is saying that there are 2 square sides with side lengths x, and there are 4 rectangular sides with 180x as their area. But you can probably see that we already have an expression for k up here. So if we replace this k with this expression over here, what we get is 92/47 times 2x squared plus 4 times 90x equals 2 times x squared plus 4 times 180x. Now we simply have one equation with one variable, x, and so because of that, we can use Desmos to solve this equation for solutions of x. So if we hop over to Desmos and actually put in this equation that we have, and then look at the graph over here, we can see that there's a line at x equals 0 and x equals 8. Now obviously if you plug in a 0 for x, that's not going to be a valid solution because we know that the prisms have to have a non-zero side length, and so we have to use the other solution, which is at x equals 8. So if we go back to the problem here, we know that x equals 8, and so the side length in cm of each square base, which we described as x, equals 8, and that's our answer.